Okay folks, it's time for yet another video on repairing the window switches on my Mercedes GLK 350, a 2011 4MATIC. And if you've seen my channel before, you might have seen the video where I actually put caps on these. These were, unfortunately, these are white plastic painted black, the originals, and they get scarred, they start peeling. It's the white shows through that. It just looks terrible. It looks like the car is in really terrible shape. I got these caps, which I've been really, honestly, quite happy with, that went over the original buttons and have done a good job. They're not quite, if you look at them from this perspective, you can see a little bit of the white showing through, and this is after I touched it up with a black Sharpie, which is not a bad way to do it, but I think I found a new way to do it. I do have a new, whole new switch panel sitting around to be replaced should I ever have this door panel off, but hopefully that never happens. So short of that, what I'm going to try is I just got some new actual buttons, much like the ones I put in here, that replace the entire button inside the original switch. So let's swap these out and see how they look. But to try to prevent scarring up any of this, the plastic and the housing itself, I'm going to try to use a trim tool, and I'm getting under. I'm pushing the switch down like I'm lowering the window, and I'm putting the trim tool underneath and trying to pry up. Okay, none of my pry tools are going to work. I'm going to use a thin piece of metal here. In this case, this is actually it's a feeler gauge that I happen to have, and I believe that's going to protect my plastic while allowing me to get a screwdriver under the button and pry it out. Okay, it's out, hopefully without destroying my inner button there. Alright, and since that one's out of the way, let's go ahead and remove its neighbor, hoping that we'll get a little bit more wiggle room with that other button missing, and see if we can get this one out with a little less grief. And that one did come out a little bit easier, so alright, we've got both of the top ones out. Let's go ahead and replace them with the new ones. Okay, the new button should go in with the tops pressed in, and then be rotated into place. I gotta tell you, it was a little funky. It definitely didn't feel right until it went in, but at that point it felt just fine. Alright, let's try the other one. So, again, just look for the sweet spot, rock it back and forth a little bit. Well, they're in, and they do look a considerable amount better than the old ones. I've decided that my bottom ones look just fine. There's that one little tiny white spot that was showing, and it's now gone, so I am not going to even bother replacing the bottom ones. Alright, so end result. After a little fiddling, they're definitely closer. It's definitely laying just about flush, so I'm really happy. It's definitely a step in the right direction. It's a whole lot better than the old caps were. I still have a spare pair that I can put on the bottom should they wear out. But for now, what's important is these no longer have the silly caps, and so they're not really interfering with each other anymore. And they look a lot better. And here's probably the best thing about these. You can see that the illumination coming through the window icons on the buttons is much, much, much brighter than with the caps, the overlays that were on there previously. So driving at night, your window will be more visible and easier to find. And that will make your Mercedes very happy.